Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about how to solve quadratic inequalities. All right, so let's take a look at one example. It says x squared minus x minus 2 greater than 0. So what does it mean? It means we want to find out the x values that will make this inequality true. Okay, so solve the inequality. It means we want to find out the x values that will make this inequality true. Okay, so what's the first thing that you want to do? You want to factor it. Okay, you can apply the diamond method to factor it out. So let me apply my diamond method. Negative 2 goes on top, negative 1 stays in the bottom. We need two numbers. If we multiply, we're going to get negative 2, but if we add, we're going to get negative 1. What are those two numbers? Negative 2 and positive 1, right? So our answer will be x plus 1 and x minus 2. So x minus 2 times x plus 1 greater than 0. Okay. Now, if you do not know how to factor, I actually made a bunch of video on how to factor. So please check out my videos. All right. Now, what should we do? The next step you want to set it equal to 0. So x minus 2, x plus 1 equal to 0. That means you can set x minus 2 equal to 0 or x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so the rule that I just applied is called the zero product law. That says if you multiply two terms and if you get 0, you can set each term equal to 0. So if x minus 2 times x plus 1 equal to 0, you can write x minus 2 equal to 0 or x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, it's called the zero product law. Now we can solve for x by adding 2 to both sides. So x will be equal to 2 minus 1 minus 1. X will be equal to minus 1. Okay, so the numbers that we got, I like to think of them like a magic number. We're going to use it on our number line. Okay, all right, let's take a look. So now you're going to draw a number line. I have 0, 1, 2, 3. I have 2. I'm going to use negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. All right, so now what you want to do, so we have 2, and we have negative 1. We have negative 1. Okay, 2 and negative 1. Let me get rid of other numbers so that I don't confuse you. So negative 1 and 2. Okay, let me get rid of that 0, 2. I don't want to confuse anyone. So what you want to do now, you want to take one number from each section and you're going to check whether or not this inequality makes sense. Okay, so I'm talking about this inequality makes sense. There's one more thing. I hope you noticed I used open circle. The reason I used open circle because I don't have equal sign. Okay, that's why I used open circle. All right, now let's choose one point from each section and see what happens. Okay, let me use a different color. So from this section I'm going to choose x equal to negative 3. Okay, so let's take a look. Negative 3. So If you want, you can use the original question to check. I am going to use the second line. The reason is it's going to be much easier for me to check the answer. Okay, so x minus 2 and x plus 2. So x minus, let me write it here, x minus 2 and x plus 1 greater than 0. So I'm using the second line to check. So when x is equal to negative 3, right? So negative 3, x minus 2 will be negative 3, negative 2, right? So this sign will be negative. If x is negative 3 plus 1, the sign of this term will be negative 2, right? So if I multiply two negative number, this number will be positive, right? Positive. So this whole piece will be a positive number. So we know positive numbers are always bigger than 0. So the idea is when x is equal to negative 3, the inequality will be true. So this will be part of the solution. I'm going to put a check mark. Okay. Now you may be wondering, well, why don't you multiply the numbers? It seems like you have negative 5 and negative 2. That should give you positive 10. You can also do that, but I generally use the sign so that I don't have to do calculation, and I can also save some time doing on the exam. So you actually don't have to do the calculation. Just find out the sign. It's going to make your life much easier. All right, let's take a look at the middle section. I am going to choose a number like x equal to 0 because 0 is much easier to work with. Okay, I'm going to use a different color. X equal to 0. I have x minus 2, x plus 1 greater than 0. So if x is equal to 0, 0 minus 2, so the sign will be negative. 0 plus 1, the sign will be positive. So negative times positive will be negative. And negative numbers are not bigger than 0. So the middle part cannot be the part of the solution. Okay. We have one more section left. Let's take a look. Let's choose x equal to 5. Okay, let's choose x equal to 5. So if we choose 5, what happens? Let's say we have x minus 2, x plus 1 greater than 0. So our 5 minus 2 will be positive and 5 plus 1 will be positive. So both signs are positive. We know any positive number will be bigger than 0, so this will also be part of the solution. Okay, so this interval will be part of the solution. That means if you want, you can choose any number from this section. You can also choose any number from this section, but don't choose any number from the middle section. Okay, that's what it means. Also, do not choose 2 or negative 1 because we don't have that equal sign. Okay. Now, let me show you how can you write down the answer. So there are many different ways you can write down the answer. So one thing you can do, okay, let me erase this so that you can see what I'm doing. So there are many ways you can write down the answer. You can write negative infinity to negative 1. I'm going to use parentheses. Union 2 to positive infinity. Infinity always takes parentheses, not square bracket. And since we have open circle, I'm going to use parentheses. Okay. All right. So I think this is the best way to answer the question. You can also write x less than -1. That means you can choose any number that is less than -1, or x greater than 2. All right, so I hope it makes some sense. Let me know if you have any question. Before I go, I want to show you the graph. Let's take a look at the graph of the inequality. So let's take a look at the graph. X squared minus x minus 2. This is our 2. We can say our -1. As you can see, if you choose any number between -1 and 2, the y values will be negative. All right, as you can see, the y values are underneath the x-axis. But if you choose numbers, if you choose the x values that are bigger than 2 or less than 2, I hope you notice that the corresponding y value or the height is going to be positive because it's above the x-axis. Okay, let me see whether or not I can show you the answer. We used greater than sign, greater than, so x squared minus x minus 2 greater than 0. Let me put 0. All right, so this is the solution that we got. And